Welcome to the Brunswick High Coaches Show with head coach Larry Harold Jr. Brought to you by Advanced Rehab, Pristine Water, Bruce Kennedy Tire, Sinorama, and by the Copper Pig. Now here is your host, Mr. Brunswick High, Kip Branch.
Welcome to the Brunswick High Coaches Show with head coach Larry Harold on the Bishop Media Sports Network. I'm Kip Branch on location at the Copper Pig, where we will be each and every week on Thursday nights at 6 p.m. for the entire season. This segment of the Larry Harold Show is sponsored by the Copper Pig, Advanced Rehab, Pristine Water, Bruce Kennedy Tire, and by Sinorama. And now join us, the head coach of the Brunswick High Pirates, Coach Larry Harold. How you doing, Coach?
Hey, how you doing, Kip? Good to be here.
Coach, we go on the road last week up to Springfield, Georgia, and we get up there and offense plays well, but just don't score enough points to beat Effingham County Rebels on the road. Talk a little bit about that football game.
Just got off to a slow start once again, which, second week in a row is kind of the mantra. Had a safety on the first play and kicked the ball off, and they were able to score. Went 3 and out, and they were able to drive the ball and score again. So we started out 16-0 real quickly, and so the rest of the game was we were in catch-up mode. We had to totally abandon our game plan that we had for all week and try to play catch-up and throw the ball around more than we wanted to. And, we still made it 16-14 by halftime. We came out totally because we didn't make it stop. We felt like we could have came back and won. But they, gave up a long drive. We were able to score again, cut it 23-20. And I think the turnover happened late in the third, and they tacked on that last touchdown and, made a 10-point lead, and we never really recovered.
Coach, talk a little. We come out, we win the toss, and I know you wanted to get the football, and I know you wanted to try to put some points on the board early, and we have the bad snap, and right away we get down 2-0, and you probably had to be thinking, here we go again.
Yeah, just snake bitten right now. That the football guys aren't too kind to us, but I just think, like I said, it's one of those things, where the ball's not bouncing our way right now, but just like it doesn't, eventually it will, and hopefully we can get on the right path and get things started, going in the right direction. Like I said, we're so close, me and my coaches and the kids feel like we're just so close. We just need, that opportunity to come our way and we can get this thing going like we know it can.
Coach, we get down 16-0. That's still in the first quarter. Then we get the ball late in the first quarter, and we go on an 80-yard drive in 7 plays. Then we get a stop on defense, and we go 87 yards on 14 plays, and it's 16-14. Talk a little bit about how proud you were of your offense for coming back, and defense got a stop, played well in the second quarter. We dominated from the late first quarter, the entire second quarter, we dominated that football game, and you had to start thinking again, all right, these kids, the lights come on, and we're going to come back, we're going to take control of this football game.
Yeah, like I said, I think after the Camden game, we know we have a bunch of resilient kids, but like I said, we're just so inexperienced that it's just so hard for us to keep climbing up these battles when you start digging such large holes. But they fought back. Like you said, speaking of special teams, we haven't been able to flip the field on special teams. Having to have those long drives, is real taxing and consuming on us. Like you said, the defense picked it up later on. But like I said, right now, the execution of it is not tackling. It's not making a special play on special teams. And just not being able to score and get more explosive plays for us offensively. But like I said, we saw a lot of positives. Felt like, our quarterback Randy Jernigan played one of the most outstanding games he had. I think he had, 21 carries for over 100 yards and then threw for another 140, 150 yards. Still high completion percent. I think it was 16-22. Just had an outstanding individual game. Then you talk about Sean Smith, the receiver, who had, I think, 32 yards rushing and then had another 17 yards receiving. Kenneth Dallas had a big effort. So, our playmakers started to come to place. We kind of felt like after our offensive line coach Ryan McKenzie graded film, that was the best game grade-wise that our offensive line has had. And for them, they came back Monday and said, Coach, we can play even better. So it's a lot of positive going on. Our kids are resilient. They're fighting hard. And we just got to continue to push in the right direction.
This is the Brunswick High Coaches Show with head coach Larry Harrell on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Coach Randon Jernigan, I think his completion percentage for the year is right at 68, 69%. Another game where he had 167 yards passing last week. Starting to accumulate some yards in the passing game. And just talk about your passing offense. Sean Smith probably played last Friday his best football game as a Brunswick High Pirate. I've been watching him for 3 years now, and Friday night to me was probably his best performance so far as a Pirate.
Yeah, and I feel like he was a jersey pull away from really having a game where he just took over. And I told him this week, I said, you're so close to having a game where they're going to say, Sean Smith just took the game over. And it feels good, other than Brandon having to rush 21 times because we were trying to play catch up. We didn't get a chance to get that run game going like we wanted to. We had to spread them out and throw it, or if they gave us a number, run Brandon. So he's able to pass the ball and get the ball out of his hands quick to our playmakers on the perimeter. I feel like real soon Sean is going to have one of those 100, 200-yard receiving game with about 3 touchdowns. And he had a sweep that he took for, 40 yards. And the guy grabbed his jersey. I feel like he'd have pulled away. He would have took it 80, really would have, changed the whole game for us. So, like I said, we're getting so much better, Kip. And I know a lot of people get impatient, but, this is what I call a marathon. It's not a sprint. We're going to keep getting better each and every day, each and every week. And I just believe in that mantra. We say all the time, we just got to embrace the process. This is part of the process. We call them this week growing pains. This is part of the growing process. And one of my coaches made the point that, we're going to appreciate this so much more when it all comes together because of the struggles that we're going through now. That's tested us, and bring us close together as a coach staff and as a team.
Coach Kenneth Dallas, last week when we were broadcasting, he had a catch on like a 3rd and long that extended one of those touchdown drives in the second quarter. Did it look as good on film as it did in person?
It looked even better because we put it in slow motion, and Coach was like, Coach, he jumped as high as his height is. So he went up and made a great yeoman's effort, came down, and was able to hold on to the ball. It's another play I was proud of Randon, where he's maturing as a pocket passer. Usually, if you saw his film from last year, he was just taking off on a play like that. Now he's, what we call working the pocket, sliding away from pressure, kept his eyes downfield, saw open man and got the ball to him. So I'm proud of Randon how he's developing as a pocket passer, and he's only going to continue to get better. Work some more drills this week, Randon working to more openings and to put more and more pressure on the defense. So as he continues to develop, and if we can stop getting so far behind, we can add that running game that we keep talking about every week going. I feel like we have so much more balance going, and our offense will really get to clicking.
More to come on the Larry Harrell Coaches Show on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Right now, these words from our sponsors.
Best barbecue and smokehouse in Glenn County? The Copper Pig. Located at 704 Mall Boulevard. Local meat and produce markets, live gators for the kiddos to feed, mechanical pig, a $1.99 drink menu, and so much more. From barbecue to steak, you won't find it any better than at the Copper Pig. 912-289-9880. The Copper Pig is your proud home for the Larry Harrell Coaches Show all season long. Thursday nights at 6 p.m. and go Pirates! That back won't stop aching or that knee won't stop throbbing? Your answer is Advanced Rehabilitation and their staff of professionals. Locations in Brunswick and on St. Simons for your convenience. Go to the place that is trusted by student athletes all over the Golden Isles as well as professional athletes. Advanced Rehabilitation specializes in neuro and orthopedics and will have you back in the game in no time. Find a clinic near you, physicaltherapygeorgia.com. Bruce Kennedy Tire is your hometown destination for tires. Michelin, Goodyear, and all the brands you trust. But don't let the name fool you. Bruce Kennedy Tire, located at 2928 Norwich Street, does more than just tires. Brakes, alignments, repair work, and more than I can mention. Bruce Kennedy is locally owned and operated, so you get the best service in Glenn County. So give Bruce a call at 912-264-6578. Bruce Kennedy Tire, a name you can trust.
Welcome back to the Brunswick High Coaches Show with head coach Larry Harrell on the Bishop Media Sports Network. I'm Kip Branch on location from the Copper Pig. This segment is brought to you by the Copper Pig Advanced Rehab and by Bruce Kennedy Tire. Coach, we've thrown the term around power running game first few shows of this year. 42 carries for 192 yards last week, 4.6 average. You got to be pleased with that.
Yeah, we're pleased with that. The only alarming thing about that is that 110 of them came from the quarterback on 21 carries, and we want to cut that down tremendously. Just the called runs, as I call it.
Yeah.
But like I said, when you get down 16-0 like that, you got to do what you have to do. You kind of do away with whatever you had planned during the week, and you just in straight survival mode. So, but Rand is more than willing and able to put up those type of numbers. So, like I said again, our offensive line is really starting to gel, starting to come together, and they're gaining confidence each and every day in practice. And like I said, Coach McKenzie's doing a great job with it.
Coach, talk a little bit about, we were in a deep hole one time inside our 5-yard line, and we ran the speed sweep, which was one of our good plays last week, a jet sweep, a speed sweep, whatever you call it. And Sean got us from like the 5-yard line out to close to the 40-yard line to get us out of a deep hole one time after a penalty to keep a drive going. Just talk a little bit about what you saw in film against Effingham that made that play successful, because it worked a lot for us last Friday.
Well, that was the game plan. We kind of felt like we wanted to get them moving east and west with our speed. We didn't think they had the speed and athleticism to play with us on the perimeter. And once we got them spread out wide, our game plan was to come back in the second half and kind of run, up the middle with our running backs. But it never worked out like that. But anytime you get Kenneth Dallas or Sean Smith the ball on a perimeter, is a great play. Was able to put some unbalanced formations to the boundary and get him moving that way, and it worked out well for us. So again, our quick screens, our slow screens, any type of jet sweep as you call it for that special kid is great for us and a way to get him the ball in his hands.
You're listening to the Larry Harrell Coaches Show on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Coach, talk a little bit about, we had a blocked extra point, and I know that from what it looked like in the press box, it looked like our up guy wasn't lined up properly, and the guy just kind of ran by him, or he might have been lined up too far out this time, and the guy just came to the inside and got to the kicker and blocked him, but we came back with a great 2-point conversion call on the second touchdown that got us to that 14-point plateau. Just talk a little bit about how we're progressing on special teams. I mean, we kicked the ball on kickoffs. We're inside the 5 both times, all 3 times Friday night. And, we're getting some good kicks, but it just seems like we have one little breakdown every now and then that ends up costing us a little bit.
Yeah. The up back that just pick up an extra point was lined up a little too tight, and they have a certain alignment. And for whatever reason, our guys get out there to get excited, after a touchdown or whatever. Just like a couple of weeks ago, we had a field goal block, and you tell them to line up, outside leg of the tight end, they line up right behind the tight end. So that's just the kind of thing that we're going through, just executing and just not aware of where we're at on the field. But we had a great special team practice yesterday, and the thing that was brought to our attention was that was only the second Wednesday practice that we've been able to have because of the weather. Yeah, we've been in the gym, and when you practice in the gym, for a veteran team, that's okay because it's mental, but we had to be able to go to any special situation like tight punt from on the goal line. If there's a bad snap, what to do in the end zone. When to field a punt. When you don't put your heels on the 10 and it goes over your head. I mean, just little stuff like that. We have to go over with these guys everything because they're, like I said again, inexperienced. They don't know the intricacies of football. And we spent all day yesterday going over their situation. And Wednesdays is our big special team day. we attack each special team, our punt team and our kickoff on Mondays and Tuesdays. But Wednesday we review everything and we go into real intricate details. The thing that you're talking about kickoff, you know, Mitch Finneman is doing a good job. He's almost close to putting him in the end zone. If we put it under 5, we wanted them to pin our kickoff team to pin him inside the 20. You know, give that other team bad field position like we've been getting. You know, on the punt team, you know, like I said, we want to spray and punt. We want to get our guys down there in the flip field position. So we just work all those situations, and we got to get the kids to buy in and play harder on special team because that can change a game tremendously.
Coach, talk a little bit about on kickoffs. I noticed on the kickoffs we kick it in an angle. We're kicking it deep, but we're kicking it in an angle, which is causing the return team to have to get the ball, have to run to the middle of the field, look for the wedge, and by the time they get to the 15, our guys are there waiting on it.
Yeah, just putting it in different spots. Usually if you kick it straight down the middle, that return guy can just catch it. Like you said, most high school teams do, we call it middle return or wedge return, and put everybody together and try to run it up the middle. But when you put it in the coffin corners, as we call them, they have to get the ball and then try to run it back, you know, to that middle. And what happens is our guys have enough speed to get down there, and we still feel like we can do a better job of pinning it even deeper. You know, make these teams drive, you know, 80, 85 yards and make it tough on them. And, you know, just doing a better job tackling on defense and special teams is our main goal.
Sean Smith was close to breaking a kickoff return last week, had returned one almost 40 yards. Talk a little bit about how close was he a tackle or shirt tail away from taking that to the house. He really got it out there pretty quick.
Yeah, and I don't know if you noticed, when he kicked the ball off, he actually hesitated. And the coach was like, wow, what is he doing? I said, he's setting up his block. As soon as he saw it, boom, Sean had that you know, he's a special kid where he can go from 0 to 100 like that. So, you know, he's a special kid, and, you know, we tried earlier using Sharon Frazier, who we feel like is a great player, but just right now his ball skills, you know, he's from, you know, messing around with the ball a couple of games, so we kind of put Sean back there and gave him more duties, which we feel like it's a lot on him. But, you know, right now we're at a point where we got to get our playmakers the ball, you know, as many times as we can, and we're just going to roll, you know, with Sean, and as many times we give him the ball, just ask him to make plays for us, which he did last week.
We will be right back to the Brunswick High Coaches Show with head coach Larry Harold on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Now these words from our sponsors.
Your go-to for your business's sign, Signorama, located at 5701 Altama, has everything you need. Flyers, business cards, banners, wraps, decals, lettering, displays, and so much more. 912-265-6463 or online at www.signorama.com. Locally owned and operated, Signorama is a proud supporter of Glenn County Athletics, and let's go Pirates! Pristine Water is your destination for pools, spas, and pool supplies. From installation to maintenance, Pristine Water is your best choice in all of Southeast Georgia for your next pool or spa. Give Pristine Water a call at 912-264-9233 for a free estimate, or stop on in at 166 Key Circle Drive, or check Pristine Water out online at pristinewaterandpools.com. And go Pirates!
Welcome back to the Brunswick High Pirates Coaches Show with head coach Larry Harold on the Bishop Media Sports Network. I'm Kip Branch on location at the Copper Pig. This segment is brought to you by Pristine Water and Signorama. Coach, let's switch over to the defense. Last week we gave up 30 points to Effingham and just didn't have a good night tackling. I mean, I don't know what else to say. We just didn't tackle well in that football game, and you know, we didn't give up that many yards, but we just didn't tackle well in spots. And we had a couple of good series there in the second quarter, but it just seemed like when they needed a drive, they just made it happen.
Yeah. Well, third down efficiency killed us. Like we talked about earlier, you know, when you get them in third and plus situations and they're able to convert and keep drives going, we felt like that hurt us. And tackling was awful. Let's just be honest and blatant about it. And contrary to whatever belief there is, we work on tackling. We do a tackling circuit every day. The kids know how to tackle. It's just, just lack of execution for whatever reason. Like you said earlier, we're in position to make tackles, to make plays. We got to get people on the ground. That's going to be the story of our lives. If you look at what the game plan and trends is, we got a good secondary field, and people just feel like we're not going to test that secondary. We're going to line down and punch them in the mouth. We're going to run the ball and make them stop us. And until we are able to stop them and force them to throw, that's what we're going to continue to get. So, we got Statesboro. They're a great running team. We expect the same thing from them. We've been harping on our guys again. You got to tackle. And not just by yourself. Game tackle. Get to the ball. Game tackle like we were doing earlier in the season. It's just, it just seems like it's always some type of breakdown. It's just not the offense breakdown, and it's the defense, it's the special teams. We haven't been able to put it together yet, and we're just gonna keep working hard. I mean, it's frustrating as a coach, it's frustrating for the kids, but the only thing you can do is just continue to work and get better, and we feel like we'll come together.
While we were broadcasting the game last week, I know it's got to be frustrating to you as a head coach to see our guys in position. They're in the right position, and I don't know if it's youth or whatever. They're in the right position. They just, for whatever reason, weren't making the plays. And I know it's an opportunity to coach and coach kids up, and I noticed this week in practice, we went ones against ones yesterday, and that was probably pretty spirited, wasn't it?
Very spirited. I told the guys, we got to get more competitive. And, injuries is affecting our depth, and you really don't want to go too much ones-on-ones because God forbid somebody gets hurt, but we got to do something. But it actually makes practice fun at the end. We'll do a quick goal line package, see who can win. If the offense can score in 4 plays, we have to run extra gassers. If the defense can stop us, or if we score, the defense has to run extra gassers. So just making it more competitive. And like I said, it is frustrating to see kids in place and miss tackles. And this may or may not make sense, but these kids are great kids because they aim so hard to please. They want to be right. They want to be perfect. And like I always tell them, nobody's perfect, guys. If you mess up, forget about it and move on to the next play. Nobody's going to be perfect. What I want to see you just go hard, 110%. If you make a bad play or you miss a tackle, get up and go try to get it. But just being hesitant, and that's what I saw at our kids, was hesitant. There was a situation where the quarterback ran a lead play. And I was telling our middle linebacker, it's you and the quarterback in the hole, and he took it to you. And I was like, usually I'm used to seeing when a linebacker has a quarterback one-on-one, that quarterback is going on the ground quickly or diving on the ground himself. So it just, stop being hesitant. It's football, man. Y'all been playing this since you was, 5, 6, 7 years old. Just play football and have fun. And it's going to happen. But like I said, it is very frustrating to see, kids in place and just not executing or making the plays.
This is the Brunswick High Coaches Show with head coach Larry Harrell on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Coach, I'm going to reiterate, it's a small town, and, I do the Brunswick High broadcast on the radio, and I had people come up to me this week talking about depth and things like that, and it's frustrating to me to get those kind of questions from people that really don't understand that we're starting about 10 or 12 sophomores and a freshman. There is no quality depth. There's quality, but below 10th graders is 9th graders. Talk a little bit about that. It's just frustrating to me to hear those kind of comments around. And, it's folks that love Brunswick High, they want Brunswick High to win, but just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, we understand the passionate fans. They want to see us do well, and, they just throwing out suggestions. But, the thing is that, like you said, we have a roster of 40 sophomores, 35 juniors. We only have, 12 seniors on the team. We have another 40 freshmen. Our freshmen were able to win a game against Richmond Hill. They're all excited. We already have one freshman starting on the offensive line of all places. So you don't want to continue to just throw freshmen out. He's doing a good job, but most freshmen can't adapt. So like you said, beyond 10th graders, now you're talking about 9th graders. And right. You could mess a 9th grader up if you put him out there too early. My college coach used to have a saying, I will sell no wine before it's time.
There you go.
If you ever ate wine drunk wine for a time, I don't think it's too pleasant. So,
Yeah.
you know, you want to put people out there when you're ready. Again, you know, we understand the frustrations and kind of the impatience of the Pirate Nation, but, you know, just, you know, nobody puts more time than us coaches and players. I mean, we're out there every day. You know, we want to win bad too. You know, we don't win. You know, it's a long weekend for our wives.
Oh, yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
So, you know, my wife and the coaching wives are like, wow, we got to win because we can't even talk to our husbands. So we take this home with us. You know, we want to win, and we were working hard at it. And like I said, you know, if there was somebody or anybody better, they would be out there. It's just not. We have what we have. We just have to work with it. And just to talk briefly about what we talked about in the office today, you go back to my first year coaching, 2012, I told you we played, you know, Coach Freeman, which everybody knows, in Brooks County, and our first playoff game. They're the number 2 team in the state with Malcolm Parrish at quarterback, who's now a UGA player. You know, we started 9 freshmen in that game. And, you know, they got older, but we were forced to play those guys. Here, you know, 5A's a little different. You know, you get a lot of 9th grader out there that's undeveloped, man.
Ooh.
You know, somebody can get hurt.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, we're already playing 10th graders. You know, you don't want to go below that, and we're just going to continue to work and cultivate the talent that we have.
Statesboro comes in here tomorrow night, Coach, at Glenn County Stadium. Statesboro historical program, few state championships, always good, a power running game, come downhill. They've been known to line up in the wishbone and just run right at you. They're a little bit different this year where they're in a kind of a pistol type spread offense, but they still run downhill. Talk a little bit about the challenges that Statesboro presents for us.
They're much, you know, taller in length, bigger, and way more athletic. They're very athletic, especially on the defensive side of the ball. That popped out to me. They have long, athletic defensive ends, you know, defensive tackles that really blow off the ball and really get after the quarterback. Their linebackers play much better in space than, you know, Effingham County, and their secondary is really good. So they're going to present a big challenge. On the offensive side of the ball, you know, they jumped out to a 14-0 lead on our side. Effingham just running the ball right up the middle. So we anticipate the same type thing. Their running back is really, really, really good. He's little, but he runs hard, and he will break tackle. Once he breaks a tackle, you know, he's gone. So, you know, we have our hands full. Their O-line is really good. You know, of course, the quarterback is the transfer from Ware County. He's real mobile, has a strong arm, and, you know, can break a tackle and get the ball in space. So, you know, we'll have our hands full, but we're up for the task. I think it's going to be a great game. Both teams had a regional win and, you know, are desperate to get one. So we'll get a great effort from them. You definitely get a great effort from your Pirates.
Coach, any last comments to the Pirate Nation before tomorrow night?
Yeah, just come on out. The thing I was proud of is our guys. We didn't have a big turnout at the Effingham County game, and you know, they were cheering each other on, which hasn't been done. And you know, just having that us against the world mentality on the road. We come back home, you know, the boys, like I said, regardless of what the record said, they are working hard. They're dedicating their time. Come on out to the stadium, cheer these guys on. You know, root our boys on, because it really helps when they can look at the stand and see people come out to support them as we try to get our first region win of the 2015 season.
Good luck tomorrow night, Coach.
Thank you.
And you've been listening to the Larry Harrell Coaches Show. Thank you for joining us for the Coaches Show with Larry Harrell on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Come out to the Copper Pig and join us every Thursday night at 6 p.m. for the Larry Harrell Show. I'm Kip Branch, signing off, and go Pirates.
Go Pirates.